You see, young man, the world tries to sell you illusions, like beauty is skin deep, and attraction is a game of superficial moves. But real connection, that's a different beast. It's the alchemy of two souls that have known hardship, joy, loss, and resurrection. It's the kind of woman who doesn't just walk into a room. She arrives. She carries within her the quiet storms she has weathered, the shadows she has faced, and the light she has chosen to nurture despite it all. This woman, mature, grounded, and real, possesses a magnetic power, not because she demands it, but because she embodies it. She knows her darkness and her light. She doesn't chase, she calls. She doesn't pretend, she is. If you're lost in the maze of dating, caught in the noise of fleeting attractions, listen carefully. These 6 habits are the keys to recognizing her, and more importantly, becoming a man who can walk beside her in genuine, soul-stirring connection. Look, here's the brutal truth nobody wants to admit. Nobody is perfect. Not you, not her, nobody. The mature woman who's truly irresistible, she doesn't pretend otherwise. Instead, she stares her shadows right in the eye and makes peace with them. Jung called this shadow integration. It's the process of owning the darker, hidden parts of ourselves. The fears, the regrets, the anger, the vulnerabilities that society tells us to hide like dirty secrets. Why does this matter so much? Because when a woman owns her shadow, she stops fighting herself and stops needing constant approval from the world. She's no longer running from her past wounds or hiding behind a mask of false perfection. That raw honesty isn't just refreshing, it's magnetic. It screams, I am whole, even in my brokenness. Imagine meeting a woman who is unafraid to admit she struggled, who talks openly about her failures and what she's learned, who doesn't sugarcoat the scars life has left on her heart. That kind of authenticity cuts through all the noise of shallow interactions and superficial conversations. It invites real connection, and here's where most men miss it. This isn't a weakness, far from it. Embracing her shadow means she's strong enough to face her demons, strong enough to heal, and strong enough to grow. It's a form of courage that commands respect and inspires trust. You can't build a deep emotional bond with someone who's always pretending or running from themselves. That's just a house of cards waiting to collapse. The mature woman's shadows are part of her story, her complexity, her humanity. They give her depth, they give her wisdom, they give her the kind of vibe that makes you stop and say, there's something real here. So if you want to attract this kind of woman, stop chasing flawless fantasy. Start learning how to see the real woman beneath the surface. The one who owns her whole self, shadows and all. Because that, my friend, is the beginning of something genuine and lasting. In today's world, everybody's talking, but how many people are really listening? Here's the thing. A mature woman who's truly irresistible isn't just waiting for her turn to speak. She listens, and not in the half-hearted, distracted way we see everywhere. She listens like your words are sacred, like your feelings matter as much as her own. This kind of listening goes beyond hearing sounds. It's about tuning into the undercurrents beneath the surface, the hesitations, the fears, the hopes you don't dare say out loud. Jung believed that deep connection requires going beyond the ego's chatter and tapping into the unconscious realm of emotions. This woman, she hears your silence just as much as your words. She catches the tremble in your voice, the tension behind your jokes, the weight you're trying to carry alone. And instead of pushing you away, she offers presence, a safe space where your true self can finally breathe. Why is this such a rare power? Because most people aren't equipped for real emotional intimacy. They're trapped in the noise, the distractions, the superficial small talk that fills endless voids but leaves souls thirsty. But a woman who listens like it matters creates a sanctuary. Being with her feels like coming home. You don't have to pretend, you don't have to hide the cracks. You can just be you, and make no mistake, this habit of deep listening is a form of love. It says, you are seen, you are heard, you are enough. For a man struggling in the chaos of dating, craving connection but afraid to be vulnerable, this is a breath of fresh air. It's a balm to a wounded heart. But here's the kicker. This isn't something she does just for you. She listens like this because she's mastered the art of presence herself. She understands that relationships aren't about being understood alone. They're about understanding the other. This mutual empathy is the soil where trust grows. So, if you want to find a woman who's truly irresistible, seek one who doesn't just wait to talk, but one who's mastered the sacred, rare art of listening like it matters. Because in that deep silence between words, true connection begins. Here's a reality check. Emotional independence is not about shutting people out or building walls. It's about knowing who you are beneath the chaos of life, without needing constant validation or approval from others. A mature woman who's truly irresistible doesn't rely on someone else, especially a man, to fill her emotional void or boost her self-worth. She's built an internal fortress that doesn't crumble every time someone looks away or a relationship falters. Jung might say this is the sign of a well-integrated psyche. She has explored her inner world enough to develop a solid sense of self, so she isn't swimming in the turbulent waters of dependency. She knows her value, and she's not bargaining for scraps of attention or love. That's not desperation. That's power. That's freedom. This emotional independence creates a magnetic pull because it's rare as hell. In a sea of people begging for validation through likes, texts, or empty words, here's a woman who's anchored in herself. She doesn't need you to complete her because she's already whole. But, and this is crucial, she chooses to share her life, her love, and her time with you because it's a conscious decision, not a desperate grab. For men lost in the dating game or caught in emotional confusion, this can feel intimidating. It's like, wait, she doesn't need me, then why would she want me? But here's the paradox. That very independence is what makes her want you. It's the quiet confidence that says, I'm here by choice, not necessity. It demands respect and invites authenticity in return. Also, emotional independence means she won't tolerate emotional manipulation, clinginess, or neediness. She's clear on boundaries, and she protects her peace fiercely. That's not coldness. It's wisdom born from experience. She knows what she deserves and won't settle for less. So if you want to be with a woman who's irresistible in the truest sense, start by respecting her emotional independence. Learn to appreciate a partner who stands tall on her own 2 feet, because when two independent souls meet, the connection isn't about need. It's about profound mutual choice. And that's real love. If you think a mature woman is caught up in petty fights, endless emotional roller coasters, or social media chaos, think again. She's seen it all, every exhausting twist of shallow relationships and toxic cycles. And she's done with the drama. Jung would say she's transcended the ego's craving for conflict and distraction, seeking instead the nourishing soil where true emotional growth takes root. Drama is a loud, exhausting circus that demands constant attention, but leaves the soul hollow and tired. A mature woman, on the other hand, values conversations that echo in the depths of your being, the kind that don't just skim the surface, but dive into the unspoken fears, dreams, and truths that make you you. She knows that life is too short to waste on pointless battles or childish games. Her energy is precious, and she guards it like the treasure it is. Why is this so powerful? Because when you're with someone who values depth, you're invited into a sacred space of vulnerability and honesty. She doesn't need to win arguments or prove herself. She's more interested in understanding and being understood. That's a rare gift in a world addicted to conflict and ego stroking. This woman won't chase you with emotional chaos or test your loyalty through manipulation. Instead, she'll challenge you in ways that foster growth and trust, not pain or confusion. She's the kind of partner who helps you shed your masks and face your truths, not because she wants to break you down, but because she sees your potential and respects your humanity. And here's the kicker. Valuing depth means she's not afraid of silence or stillness. She knows that sometimes the most meaningful connection happens not in constant talk, but in shared quiet where two souls simply are without the need for performance. So, if you're tired of the exhausting drama and crave a connection that feeds your soul, look for the woman who values depth. Because in that deep, unshakable space, love finds its real home, and trust me, that kind of love, it's irresistible. Here's the truth. Life isn't about staying stuck. It's about evolving, shedding old skins, and stepping into new versions of yourself. A mature woman who's truly irresistible knows this on a soul level. She's not content with stagnation or comfort zones. She's committed to growth, not because it's trendy, but because it's essential to her survival and fulfillment. Jung talked about the process of individuation, the lifelong journey toward becoming your whole, authentic self. This woman is on that path, and she invites those around her to walk it too. She understands that growth can be uncomfortable, messy, even painful. But she doesn't shy away from the struggle. Instead, she faces it head on with courage and grace. What's fascinating is that this habit of nurturing growth isn't just about self-improvement. It's about creating a ripple effect. She inspires transformation not through pressure or demand, but through her own example. Her life is a living testament to resilience and change. When you meet a woman like this, you feel it instantly. A spark that challenges you to be better, to dig deeper, to expand beyond your limitations. This isn't about forcing change or fixing people. It's about holding space for evolution, accepting where you are now, while gently urging you toward where you can be. She asks the tough questions, listens to the answers, and pushes you to confront your blind spots without judgment. Moreover, nurturing growth means she's not afraid to let go. She knows that true love sometimes means stepping back, allowing space for individual journeys. She's patient with herself and others because she understands that growth isn't linear. It's a winding road of breakthroughs and setbacks. So if you want to be with a woman who's truly irresistible, seek the one who embraces growth, not just in herself, but in you and the world around her. Because when two growth-minded souls come together, they don't just survive, they thrive. And that kind of partnership, it's pure magic. Listen, in a world that often prioritizes logic, data, and the loudest voice in the room, the mature woman's intuition is like a secret superpower. Jung believed that intuition is one of our most profound connections to the unconscious, the deep well of knowledge that can't be explained by facts alone. She trusts this inner compass, that gut feeling that whispers truths beyond the reach of reason. This kind of wisdom isn't handed to her on a silver platter. It's forged through years of experience, through mistakes that cut deep, lessons learned in solitude, and moments when she had to make tough choices without a clear map. She's not just reacting to life, she's listening to it, sensing its currents beneath the surface. This wisdom gives her an unshakable confidence that's magnetic because it's authentic, not manufactured. When you meet a woman who honors her intuition, you feel it immediately. She moves through the world with a quiet certainty, even when the path ahead is murky. She knows when to hold on, when to let go, and when to trust her instincts over external noise or pressure. This trust in herself makes her presence grounding, a lighthouse in the storm. But this wisdom isn't about being closed off or stubborn. It's about being deeply receptive, tuned in to both her inner voice and the subtle signals the world sends her. She blends experience with openness, tradition with forward thinking, and logic with feeling. This balance is rare and powerful. For a man seeking real connection, this means she won't just blindly follow the crowd or conform to expectations. She walks her own path, and she invites you to do the same. She respects a man who listens to his own inner voice, because she knows that true partnership grows when two people honor their unique wisdom. So if you want to be with a woman who's irresistible on a soul level, seek the one who honors her intuition and wisdom, because that's where her true power lies. And when you learn to trust your own inner knowing alongside hers, you create a bond that transcends the ordinary and steps into the extraordinary.